Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Real Late, Hot 97, and my man's back, Flint, Michigan's own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's now, the only difference between now and the last time I saw him is now he's with Aftermath.
Yeah.
And now he's a double XL freshman. John Connor is
What
here.
up, what up, what up, what up? NYC, what's going on? Rosenberg, what's the business, man?
How are you, man?
I'm great. I can't complain about nothing, man.
What the hell has been going on since the last time you were here, my man?
I mean, you said it, man. Aftermath, double XL freshman, like a lot of blessings coming my way, man. I can't front.
Did you've been on the scene now for a minute, like 5 years that I've probably known you, close to it. And during that time, you had ups, downs, and then up again. Were there times in which you started to think, damn, maybe it's not gonna happen?
Man, let me tell you, I got to a point where I was like, you know what, man? I got to the point where I was like, I'm not even really tripping on no major deal, because I was making money doing it, independent, iTunes, doing my shows, doing all of that. So I'm like, I love making music. That's what I love doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, being famous and all that, that's cool or whatever, but I love making music. I love being able to have my message reach out to people. So it was like, I got so frustrated. I had been taking so many meetings, been in meetings in different offices for years, like, you know what I'm saying? But nobody was talking, with some sense. So it was just like, for me, it was like, I'm good just putting stuff out on iTunes. I'm straight. I will tour. I will be independent. I'm good. Me and my man, Young Sav, Mo Cleves, we had our company. We was good. And right when I said that, I get the phone call. Right when I had gotten to that mentality of, you know what, I'm just going to make music for the people and all of that, is when I get the phone call from Exhibit like, yo, Dr. Dre said, can you be in California tomorrow at 9? And I'm like, yo. So that just taught me, like, when you stop thinking about what you don't have and stop obsessing or being angry or mad about what's not happening for you, and when you just, like, when I started appreciating, you know what, I got a fan base, I'm cool, I'm making money, I'm doing what I love, that's when these crazy doors open for me. Like, the universe was saying, yo, well, now you get it. You appreciated what I was giving you, and now I'm gonna open these doors that you always wanted to be open, because now it's like you're not hindering yourself, you're not obsessing over and being bitter about stuff. So it's like, when I just started appreciating stuff, man, that's when everything happened, man.
So you would have been good either way.
Yeah.
And now you just have this added bonus. Now, so can you give us a little bit of the insight behind the scenes of how that happens, that Dr. Dre ends up interested in you? What happens there?
Man, so crazy. It's like, it's that wild story that, a lot of artists tell of, like, one day it just happened. Like, me and Exhibit had a relationship for a long time. Like, I had toured with him or whatever, and he always was like, yo, if I can help you out, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do it. And a lot of times in this business, a lot of lip service, so to me it was just like, yeah, all right, whatever,
we'll see.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. One day he called me after I was doing a show, and he called me right after I got off stage, and he was like, yo, dog, I had a light bulb over the top of my head today. I'm like, what's up, man?
You sound like Exhibit already.
Yo, he was like, I'm gonna let Dr. Dre hear your music. And for me, that was cool. That was good enough for me. I'm like, if Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? If Dr. Dre listens to my music, that's cool. If he like it, that's cool. If he don't, man, thanks, you know what I'm saying, for doing that. And he was like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna do that. The next day, he called back. He like, you think it's a game? I'm like, what you talking about, man? He like, Dre said, be in California tomorrow at 9. Can you do that? Psh, dog. I did everything in my power to be on the first thing smoking to California, and as they say, the rest is history, man. I went out to California with one change of clothes, one book bag, and I never went back to Flint since. Like, now I live in LA. You know what I'm saying?
That was it?
That was it. Like, I'm talking about, I remember telling my mom, like, Moms, I'm going to California. She's like, well, how long you gonna be gone? I'm like, I don't know. You know, so she was like, well, take some clothes. I just threw some in the book bag, was on my way to the airport in Detroit. Never came back since. Now I live in California. You know what I'm saying? So the man Dre changed.
So how
lives,
long?
Man.
Okay, so then take us through this. Tell us about the meeting. So tell us the story. So you go from the airport, you go straight there. You get a hotel room for the night.
I go straight from Detroit to California, and the meeting was that night. So it wasn't even like I had time to think about this.
You're just going.
It was just, I was just
Was
going
Sav with you? Was Mateen Cleaves with you?
You know what? Yeah. Sav got there before I did. That's what's funny.
So he was in New York and he met you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I called him like, yo, Dre said, can we come to California? He like, yo, I'm there, B. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So him and Mo, Mo got there a little bit after me. So I got there. We met at this spot, man. It's a real dope spot, Katana. And I walk in and I'm like, it's really Dr. Dre. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Dre. So, you know what I'm saying? We sat down, we started talking, and just immediately, what's funny about it is I wasn't, like, you think, like, man, I'm gonna be nervous. I was nervous all up until, because, like, I'm gonna keep it so real with you, bro. Being an artist and all that is cool, but I was a fan of hip hop first. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care who you are, Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. It's certain people that you meet in this game that it's like before you started doing this, you was a fan of them. You was bumping their music. So for me, it was like, yo, this is Dr. Dre. So we go and we sit down, and from the time we started talking, it was all that was gone, because he just looked at me and he was like, all right, so you know, what you want out of this? That was the first question he asked me. What you want out of this? And then I was like, and I remember my response to him, I was like, Dre, you ever been to Flint, Michigan before? I said, do you know where that's at? And then he was like, nah. And I was like, man, let me tell you. And I just went in just about just where I come from and just how we haven't really had nothing to kind of inspire my city. You know what I'm saying? Just inspire it. Like Michigan, we didn't got hit pretty hard, you know what I'm saying, all around. So it was just like I just
And Flint already wasn't even Detroit.
Yeah.
To start out with.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to telling him all of that and just what I want to do as far as my message and my music and how I just want to, you know, just the things that I want to do. I told him the money gonna come. That's always been my mentality. Money, okay, that's cool. That's gonna come. But for me, it was all about just putting on for my city and being like some type of inspiration or look at for people in Flint. I even think about like the XXL cover. Like, it wasn't about me being on a cover. It's about like for 20 or so years, there's not been an artist from Flint, Michigan to do what I'm able and being blessed to do. So now it's like, if you was in Flint all these years and you wanted to be an artist, a teacher could tell you something like, oh, who you think you is, Jay-Z? Who you think you is, Kanye West? All of these people, you know, are from different places. Now a Flint kid could say, I'm trying to be like John Connor. He from Flint. I could do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's not that unattainable. And I was just telling Doc, like, that's how important my career is. Not just about me. It's about the inspiration that I could be for a lot of people. So after that, he just looked at me and was like, okay, let's go listen to music. I went to his crib, man. He put on beats. I'm talking about, it was one of the moments where I rapped every verse I ever wrote in my life. It wasn't no stopping me. And then after I did that, he just cut the music off. I mean, he playing first. The funny thing about him is he played me like joints from Detox, you know what I'm saying? And the stuff that he been working on. And so already your mind is blown by that.
Like, what the? Yeah, what am I even hearing?
Like your mind blown from that. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So for one, it dispelled all of the stuff in my head about Detox. It was like, oh, so Detox is real. Like, if he wanted to, it could come out tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then he was like, yo, I'm gonna just play some beats or whatever. He playing beats. I start rapping. So finally he cut the music off and he like, one more time, he just was like, so what you want to do? And then I'm like, man, let's do it. And it was on. It was on after that.
And that's it? And then you get an apartment out there, you're like, I'm gonna just stay out here? Or does he tell you, like, don't go back, you're gonna stay here, we're gonna go to work?
It was dope, man. Like, he just was like, he looked at me and he was just like, the first thing after he said, what you want to do? And then I said, let's do it. He looked at me and he was like, I get it. Man, I don't know, for a lot of like true artists, like for somebody like Dr. Dre to just say those words, I get it. Because a lot of times we go into meetings and we had these meetings with people and play our music and they looking at you and barely paying attention and they texting in their phones and all of that, and they really not even trying to understand what you're trying to do as an artist. So for Dr. Dre to be like, I get it, like, you know what I'm saying, was one of the dopest things ever. And after that, it was like, he just was like, it went from I get it to, yo, I know what your album gonna be like. I get what you trying to do. The people's rapper, like, yo, let's do it. It was like so dope to see that Dre was excited about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and excited about what I wanted to do. And like, that was it. He was like, it was basically like, man, you ain't going home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's start working on this album. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it wasn't like, let's do it, send you back to Flint and blowing smoke. It was like, yo, let's get in the studio. After that night, we got in the studio the next day, and people always ask me like, so like, do you get to work with Dr. Dre or do you hardly ever see him? Almost every day I go to the studio is me and Dre. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's no better feeling. It's like, you can't even describe the feeling of having Dr. Dre be excited about you, man. So it's crazy.
What is the plan now? Is there a plan in place now? And also, do you have concerns? Because in the history of Aftermath, it goes one of two ways. Superstardom or nothing happens. So does that concern you, and what is the plan?
Okay, for one, first part of the question, yes, there is a plan. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a plan, man. I'm working on my project now. Been working on my project, just banging out records or whatever. So I'm supposed to be done recording this by, I think, August. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be done recording my project by August, and we looking to come through first quarter 2015. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. With an album. On Aftermath Interscope.
Aftermath Interscope album.
Okay. All right.
And you know, as far as the concerns, man, I look at it like signing the Aftermath is like signing to any label. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And what you do with that opportunity is on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I look at it like. I can't speak for the people that didn't do anything with the opportunity, because who knows how many people ever got signed to Atlantic and never dropped. Who knows how many people ever got signed to, you can name anybody, Bad Boy, Def Jam, like whoever. We don't know. It's probably like a lot of people, but that's the thing about getting on and getting a deal. It's really on you. It ain't like when you get signed, the magic wand just come. It's like those people that are superstars on Aftermath, Eminem worked for that. Kendrick worked for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dre works for that. Game works for that. So for me, it's like, I'm going to work for that. You know, if you just get a deal and sit back and kick it and chill and just think you're going to ride the Dr. Dre train straight to the bank, it's like, nah, that man works for everything he got, so you got to work for everything you got. So signing the Aftermath, like, it's the same thing as signing anywhere else. Only, like, I think that one of the benefits is Dr. Dre was an artist as well, so he understands the artist plight. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I just look at it like, man, you could sit at Aftermath and not do nothing, just like you could sit at any other label and not do nothing. It's about you. What are you gonna do with your opportunity?
Man, so let's talk about that real quick. Who else on this XXL freshman cover are you feeling? Is there anyone in particular, anyone you have relationships with or collabed with, or just anyone whose music you enjoyed on the XXL cover?
Yeah, man, everybody was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you would think that in a situation like that, everybody would have like prima donna rapper egos or whatever like that. Everybody was pretty much cool. I ain't just saying this either because I'm in New York, but man, Troy Ave, that's my man. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was funny. Just me and him hit it off. He a cool cat, you know what I'm saying? Me and Jaren had already had a relationship, you know what I'm saying, before that. Like, pretty much everybody was cool. Vic cool. Like, everybody was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Do you sense that people treat you differently at all because of the level of cosign you have? I mean, it is unusual in that sense. Like, even more than Bad Boy or Def Jam, the lineage of Aftermath is nuts. I mean, you're talking about, you know, basically when it comes to not even necessarily specifically Aftermath, but more specifically Dr. Dre.
Right.
From Snoop Dogg to Kendrick Lamar, you're talking about the most seminal acts basically in hip-hop history, or many of them. So do people treat you a little bit differently because of that?
Yeah, it's been a couple situations that's kind of crazy to me. Like, cause, you know, like you said, man, you put me on, like, you was the reason I first came to New York, Generation Next. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my man Mike Spence.
Yes, that was the first time I ever came to New York. So, you know, I've been around for a little minute, so I can remember what it was like before this, and I know what it's like after all of this. It's been funny, like, I have noticed, like, people changing a little bit when I get interviewed sometimes. Like, I look at people and, you know, you can kind of see, like, they got like the little shake or something like that.
They're excited, like someone exciting here.
To say. Like they don't even like it. Just be funny. Like they want to say something about Dre to me, but then they kind of nervous and all of that. And I'm like, man, it's cool. I'm just me. I'm just chilling. But I have noticed just a couple things, and sometimes with that cosign, like people will be standoffish because they don't know how I'm gonna act. I guess you know what I'm saying. But I mean, really, I'm still me. I'm still saying me. People's rapper, Flint, Michigan. I really don't know how to not be humble, you know what I'm saying? After, 28, 29 years of being in Flint, Michigan, not having nothing, a couple months or a year of being signed, not about to make me go crazy. Being signed in general, not gonna make me go crazy. So it's like, if you see me, holla at me, talk to me. We can talk about anything. You wanna talk about Beats by Dre? You wanna
talk about wrestling?
Yeah, you wanna talk about wrestling? You wanna talk about, anything like that, man. Like, it's all good, man.
Where in LA you living?
Burbank.
So how's the adjustment to LA life?
I love it, man. Come on, what? Like the adjustment is I went from Flint, Michigan to to LA. So you know what I'm saying. I love my city, Flint. I love y'all. But
but you love Flint, Michigan because you love the people of Flint.
Yeah.
Because y'all all identify with how crappy Flint, Michigan is. No disrespect, but I'm assuming that's probably how you feel.
I mean,
a lot of times people love for a place is not because the place is beautiful.
Right.
It's because you have the similar experience there.
Exactly right. It's like the love that Jay probably got from Marcy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like you're like, oh, it's fabulous. You should go vacation there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, a lot of people, when they go from New York to LA, there's this thing of like comparing it. But I'm guessing when you're going from Flint to LA, it's just
ain't no comparison. Yeah.
Right.
Ain't no comparison. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to wake. I used to go to sleep to, gunshots and crackheads, and now it's waking up to palm trees and models and all of that. I'm staying down the street from where they used to shoot the Tonight Show. Now it's out here, right? Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
But
still they're shooting tons of stuff over there.
Yeah.
Our sister station Power 106 is over there.
Exactly.
Tons of stuff's over there.
Everything is all in like that little area or whatever. So now it's kind of like really like Wizard of Oz. Like, you know what I'm saying? I went from, living in black and white to like now it's like in color, man. So it's crazy.
All right. So real quick, first of all, when is you dropping a tape soon? Is there something you're going to give something to the people before this album?
Well, you know what? That's why I made sure, you know what I'm saying? Before all the melee happened, I did my little Connor season thing. I did a mixtape that was overall Kanye beats, and I did a mixtape that was overall Biggie beats. And that was just for me to give to the people. Like, ain't nothing changed. I still love this. I still love the culture. I'm still going, you know what I'm saying, give that to the people, because in that meantime of me working on the album, I still want to give the people that's been supporting something to rock to. So make sure y'all go check them out. Best in the World Kanye, Best in the World Biggie. They out now. And
let me say one other thing about John Connor. You may be one of, you're on a list with maybe one. You're the only person that comes to mind, but there are probably a couple other, not many, that when they had a blessing happen, like, I think the day I heard about it, you called me and just thanked me for my support, and that instantly was just like incredibly kind thing to do. You would be shocked at how little that happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not remotely responsible for you signing with Dr. Dre, but just the fact that you were like, you reached out to the people who you knew supported you, I think says a lot about who you are as a person. So I wanted to share that with the people, because I think that's a very important thing.
Thank you so much for saying that, man. And like, in this game, man, you appreciate when people do anything for you.
No, you do. Not everyone does.
Word.
You do appreciate it.
Well,
and it's very nice. I'm just saying it's very nice because, like, in the radio game, we live a somewhat glamorous life in moments, but more often than not, when those award shows happen, when the really sexy things happen, we're at home with our families like regular ass people. And while the artists that we know and have supported and made them millionaires go around living their lives, not always do they take the time to be like, yo, you know what? Not being generic. Oh, thank you, radio, but thank you, so-and-so.
Yeah.
Because, obviously DJs and all kinds of people play an important part. So I think it's super cool that you appreciate that. And it's just going to send the love right back to you. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I remember seeing you in that barbecue spot, South by Southwest, when you put Mateen Cleaves on the phone with me, back in like 07 or whatever that was.
Yes.
So it's very exciting to see the run that you've been on. How you feeling about WWE these days? You enjoying what are you enjoying the most?
Man, I think it's real good. You know what I'm saying? Me and you could get long-winded on WWE, so I just hit key points. I think they broke up the Shield too fast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think right when they were starting to really get over with the people, they cut it off too soon. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't love the moment because a lot of people love that Seth Rollins turn.
Yes, it was dope. You know what I'm saying? I think of the 3 members of the Shield, that he was the right one to have turn.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I just think it might have been too soon. I'm really sad that it's seeming like CM Punk might really be retiring. Like that's crazy.
I think it's impossible, by the way.
Yeah.
He's too young. He will be back.
Right.
Even if he thinks he's done,
right,
he's wrong.
He's wrong.
He's coming back again.
You
don't
agree.
get to the level where you're a permanent main event guy. Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Permanent. Like if he's on the card, he's at the top of the card. You don't do that to me and then that would be like you quitting when you signed to Aftermath.
Right.
Like it doesn't
ridiculous.
make sense.
I totally agree, man. Like I went to WrestleMania 30 and I was just waiting for Cult of Personality to come on at some point. I'm like, yo, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And it never
But how
happened.
good? Okay, that was a bummer. But how good was the opening segment of WrestleMania?
Crazy.
I was screaming like a child.
But let me tell you something though. The streak ending thing, dog, that took everything. Like that took the wind out of the whole
entire building.
And that's what they say, like bad heat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was sitting next to people that like really left like after that.
They're like oh
yeah, like that was one of them things. Like the streak went from oh snap, he ain't never lost at WrestleMania to man, somebody got to beat this streak. Then you kind of went to the point where it was like nobody should ever beat the streak. It is a part of history. Let it be that. And then it happened. But y'all know we'll mark out all day,
I was knee deep in a plate of nachos, not even thinking about that match. Yo, I left for nachos at the beginning of the match because I'm like, I got like a half hour. So let me go take 5 minutes and I come back, I sit down, start eating. When it ended, I was like, what? I looked up like there's no chance that just ended.
Dog, I was with my homeboy. Shouts to my man Kobe. Shouts to my little sister Bree who went to WrestleMania with me, man. But my man Kobe, he as big as a mark as we are, dog. So I'm sitting there and then it was like 1, 2, 3. He looked at me and he said, I have no idea what to say right now.
It was silent. It was a different kind of silence in there.
Different kind of, man, I tell people, you ain't never heard 70,000 people all be quiet.
It was
all
so
at
good.
one
But that's
time.
what I did ultimately love about it.
Yeah.
Is that was so enjoyable.
Yeah.
And if they had waited and it had happened against Daniel Bryan or John Cena or someone like that, it wouldn't have been as silent as it was for this.
I agree.
It was just like, what, Brock?
Yeah.
He's not even around.
Yeah, and do you remember it when the screen said 21-1, the groan? The groan.
Oh, so good.
Yo, I'm like, man, it was like all at one time, 70,000 people just like, no. It was crazy.
What I'm looking forward to seeing, I really hope, and this is such a random thing, but I'm very into diva stuff. I would love to see Brie and Stephanie have a match. I hope that happens.
I think it will.
It seems like it's going there, right?
It seems like it's being built up to happen.
So I would really enjoy seeing Stephanie work again.
Yeah.
Same way I would love to see Shane O'Mac come back one day.
Shane gotta come back.
I'm such a fan.
Come on, man.
I don't think he'll wrestle again, but I love Shane O'Mac.
Shane McMahon might be in my top 10 of all time.
I know, he's so fun.
Yo, straight up.
Shout out to Shane McMahon if you're watching this anyway. Yo, John Connor, Aftermath's own. Congratulations, XXL freshman.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all the success. We're excited. Shout out to Sav. Shout out to my man, Mateen Cleaves.
Cheer.
We appreciate you, bro.
Man, I appreciate y'all. Hot 97. Y'all know what it is. New York. Love y'all, man.